So this poem is called Arrhythmia, and arrhythmia is an unsteady heartbeat. I wrote this poem towards like the beginning of the pandemic when there was just a lot of anxiety in me, and just thinking about different things, and just living in a moment, but still somehow thinking about the future as the past and how that created a lot of anxiety, right? And I tied it around past experiences, but also I don't know, just like how my mind flows sometimes. So, yeah. Not gonna lie, I'm low-key obsessed with you. Possessed by the few encounters we've been through. Something about the softness in your eyes holds me captive every time. Handle illuminates screen. Your handle that I don't block, I try to forget, but I can't, it seems. But how? How can I forget how things were handled? How my walls were dismantled that I had built? Built to keep all of the fuck boys, the pretty boys, the bad boys, the good boys, and the boy toys out. The wall that I built to protect what was left of a healing heart. Healing from wounds not only mine, but from my ancestors who were robbed of what was theirs before they had time to realize they no longer owned what belonged to them. Their land, their blood, their skin, their name. I cannot and will not forget them in vain. I call this obsession because you are not mine. And yet, reality scoffs at my heart and soul for creating a delusion of wonder and hope that leads to the pit of my dreams of what ifs that I dare not say out loud. My ancestors would not be proud because my obsession becomes the nectar of my demise, what leaves me doubting my own shadow that I begin to despise. But still, I'll rise. Because time and space have given me the gift of being cracked open like a coconut. Sweet tears that flow out to water my soul so that I may grow into the future that kept them fighting to stay whole. My obsession with you is really an obsession with me. A mirror reflecting all the what could be's. But being made for greatness, being made to shine, has the devil wanting me to dwell on what I think is a crime. My weakness for you is the strength within me, the reminder that my heart cannot beat steadily. But a heart that keeps beating is a heart that's alive. So don't think for a second that I won't survive. Okay, so the second poem that I have is called Love at the Laundromat. I spend a lot of time doing laundry. I don't like doing it. But I often, when I'm there, I just kind of get into my own world and I end up like, trying to find ways to enjoy it. So I like make little stories or, I get kind of attached also to my clothing. And one of the things that's fascinating to me about things that we wear is that a lot of times it tells a story, right? Where we've been, and every week, because I don't have my own washing machine, I have to go to the laundromat every other week. And like I'm putting my personal clothes, a little bit of my history into this machine to then bring and start my week again, right? So this poem kind of like ties that a little bit. I have a couple poems about laundry. Again, I spend a lot of time doing it, so it's what I write about. So, love at the laundromat. A public place where intimates are washed, dirty laundry dished into machines to be scrubbed of their stench from the leaves. Lace panties out with the non-dries. Gotta be careful with the delicate. Everything touched by someone at some time. Invasive, yet so intimate. Cold wash. So much care and attention for the smallest of things that go unnoticed. Excuse me, miss, you dropped this. Always grateful for that moment, where what could have been lost is found and given right back to you. Never did a striped, weathered sock means so much. Heavy loads always take a little longer to wash, rinse, and spin. Once is never enough to get all the stains out that are too deep within the fabric that tell a story that not everybody hears. It's always better to try again than to give up on the tainted yellow blouse you only wore that one time. You always did say you looked good in it. So this last poem that I have for today is called As I Would Break My Sulfur Bonds. And this poem actually comes from a reflection piece that I wrote a while back. And it also comes from an experience that I had in high school where I was in chemistry class. I was a nerd, y'all. I studied math. And my chemistry teacher was trying to make chemistry relevant to us, right? And so she started talking about bonds and sulfur and how when we perm our hair, like that smell that you hear is like this odor that you smell is from the sulfur bonds breaking. And that stayed with me like my whole life. So I used to perm my hair, and it was always like this controversy in my house. I grew up in an Afro-Latina house before that was even a thing. My parents are from Honduras, but they're also Garifuna, right? So there was always this like, you should perm your hair, it should be natural, right? And it was always this back and forth. And so for a long time, like how I expressed myself was my hair was also how I expressed myself. And I ended up writing about the experience of one, like realizing, okay, why was I doing this? Am I doing it for my parents? Am I doing it for me? Am I doing it because of society? So this poem is a bit about that. As I would break my sulfur bonds, kinky coils fractured and pulled straight. A question burns within. I can smell it. How did I get here? A cold college day, I realized it was time to let go of the Dominican salon udder, where the milk I drank had me pero lindo, and instead let wonder take hold. Suffocate the fear of un pelon and break a familial peace, simultaneously in tandem, orchestrating an act of the girl who wasn't black enough. An infinitesimal beast grows within, tiny with the loud voice behind the eyes that would constantly say, straight, braided, short, up, down. There's no going back in time to understand how or why nothing and everything matters. Each pelito on this head counted, loved, as it is, or how I want it. In the end, I'm always beginning, juxtaposing the universe with the particular. Thank you.